Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to my partial guide to Growthcraft. The reason I say partial is because there are a couple of Growthcraft mods that I do not have in my current collection, and I'll just briefly summarize those here. One of them adds boulders and stones to the terrain. Basically, it's just raw stone blobs that stick up out of the ground in inconvenient places and are scattered around. And most mod packs that have Growthcraft in them don't tend to have these stones anyway, so it's kind of moot. And they don't really add anything other than just stone. So there isn't ore in the middle of it or anything like that. They're just boulders laying around. Next is the flowers mod, which adds world spawn melons, and it adds a type of flower called a water lily that will spread lilies. Say you have some water in here and you have a water lily over here, the lilies will spread to unlilied blocks, and I just made a hole. And that's a great way to get lily pads if you don't have them in handy access, because after all, they are not normally a renewable resource. Also, it adds a different method of growing and spreading flowers, the typical red and yellow flowers that you find in Minecraft. Instead of just a single flower, it adds a cluster that you can grow and get these seeds to grow more clusters. So that's really all there is to those. But the main reason why I wanted to do this guide slash tutorial is because all the rest of this stuff is really hard to find all in one place. In any sort of tutorial format, and the tutorials that there are either older, so they don't have some of the newer stuff, or incomplete usage of the items, or just generally unknowledgeable about what the things do because they just got the mod and they are trying to show it off and they haven't even practiced it yet. So, since I also was having some major issues with Growthcraft and trying to figure it out, I decided to make things a lot easier and study it. And since I've studied it and have everything pretty much nailed down, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to make a guide slash tutorial for it. So that's what this is going to be. Now, first off, what I should say is that Growthcraft is a collection of smaller mods that are all put out by the same person whose name I think it's Gwafu or Gwafu or something like that. The link to the actual Minecraft forums mod page for Growthcraft will be in the description below, so you can take a look at their stuff. There is a lot of interesting things added by the Growthcraft set. One of them includes village spawn stuff. You will find these buildings here that have the chimneys on them, and they're basically little inns or taverns or whatever. You can go in. They have this nice little table, and they have these barrels in this back here, as well as a fire pit. And this fire pit is awesome in the respect that it's got a netherrack in it. So you don't have to go to the nether to get netherrack. If you just need the one, and you have one of these in a village nearby, yoink it, and you've got netherrack. Also, if I remember, yes, it's this one. It does add a Growthcraft villager, from which you can buy different ales and alcohols and other things that are made available by the Growthcraft mod pack. So there are some other aspects to the village that I'm going to get to in a moment. But first, one of the main things that Growthcraft does as a utility or implementation is fermenting alcohol. And you're going to need 3 different things. First is this guy here. It's called a fruit press bin, and it's made by using a bowl of oak planks, and you get 1 bin. Then there is a fruit press, planks, iron ingots, a redstone and 2 cobblestone, and then a barrel like I showed you over there in the village building. And that is made by using planks, 6 of them, and 3 iron ingots. Now, I will demonstrate the usage of these in a moment as the rest of my stuff sets up over there. So I'm going to move on to one of the sub-mods that is added by Growthcraft, which adds something called fishnets. And you just take 6 wool and 2 planks, and you get one of these things that you can put in water. Now, the more water that it is in, the higher the rate at which it will work. And what you do with it is just place it in water, and it just by itself collects fish. If you have it next to one water block, it collects fish very, very, very slowly. If you have it in the center of a 3x3 area, it collects it a lot more quickly. And then if you have it in a 3x3x3 cube, it collects even more quickly. And you just leave it there and keep pulling out the fish. An interesting thing to note about it is you can put fish into it. I think you can even put other items into it. Yes, so it's a secret stash of fishy goodness. Anyway, next, you see I have an oak tree here. The reason why is from oak trees, you will be able to get apples. Now, that's just normal vanilla. However, if you take an apple and craft it just by itself, you'll get this thing called an apple core. The apple core is used by placing it under an apple tree, or an oak tree, I'm sorry, and it will mature through several different stages. There's another one. And the apples will just dangle from the tree. Here's one I had planted earlier. And sporadically pop off apples onto the ground. You don't even need to break them, but you can right click on the matured apples and it will automatically pop off an apple for you, which is awesome. That means that you have a steady supply of food. You don't have to worry about starving as much. Now, it also adds additional functionality to apples, and this is the first example of this setup that I have here. First thing you need to know, however, is if you take 6 apples and add them to a bucket like that, you'll get an apple bushel. The apple bushel, if I come out of creative mode here, you take the over here, the fruit press bin, this guy, and you put above it the fruit press, you'll get this sort of arrangement here. Now, with nothing in it and power applied to it, it will stamp down and this white portion will be visible. However, if you put, for instance, apples in it, 3 bushels will fill it up, and you press it, the white disappears. And what's going on here is it is applying some sort of hit value to the apple gunk that's in the bin. And if you press it a whole bunch of times over and 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 over, come on, don't make a fool out of me. Nope, not yet. I recommend hooking it up to some sort of clock or timer or whatever to do this. And you can have a whole bunch of these in sequence. Come on. There we go. You get this stuff. It is called Bucket of Young Apple Cider. Now, I have a brew barrel here, like I demonstrated over there, already set up. It has nothing in it. If you take the young apple cider and right-click the bucket on the brew barrel, you will get, you will get a different visualization in here that shows that you have 3 amounts of young apple cider. Now by itself it just sits here and continues to be young apple cider, and you can right click with the bucket to extract the apple cider. It's no longer in there, and put it back in. Next, let me go ahead and condense these down, is the brewing. Now I have the young apple cider here. Now you are going to need to go to the nether to move anywhere beyond this, because you need nether wart. Nether wart added to young apple cider makes apple cider, and that's just activated by right clicking with nether wart on the barrel. Then if you, after the nether wart has been added, if you add glowstone dust, you get potent apple cider. And then, if you instead add redstone, you get extended apple cider. Now, what this does is take a bottle of that, a bottle of that, a bottle of that, and a bottle of that. You can get the 4 different types of apple cider in bottles. The young, which adds regeneration. The just plain, which adds 45 seconds of regeneration. The potent, which adds regeneration 2, and then the extended, which adds 2 minutes of regeneration. Actually, I should probably have swapped these around, possibly. Anyway, as you can see, all of them have a chance of adding nausea, which lasts generally longer than the effect of the regeneration, but it's a fair trade-off if you need to regenerate real quickly, and it's a great use for apples. So let me put these back in here. Don't need this anymore. I'll take the buckets with me. Why not? Next, moving on to bamboo. Now, bamboo presumably spawns naturally in the world. I have not yet found any spawning. However, I have not thoroughly explored the area in the maps that include this mod pack, so it probably will spawn bamboo. And bamboo is treated just like a tree. You punch it and a whole bunch of bamboo falls down, and the leaves also break and turn into these bamboo sticks. Now, one important thing to note is, left to its own devices, bamboo will spread. It will make these little sprouts that will just keep on going. I planted 1 bamboo tree, that's all I did, this one right here, and everything else, these other bamboo trees and this little sprout here, which you can harvest, or shoot, not sprout, will just keep on spreading. Additionally, if you bone meal the base of a bamboo tree, it will produce lots of bamboo shoots around it, and you can bone meal the bamboo shoots and everyone's happy. Anyway, the reason for the bamboo is you can make things. The recipes are just like vanilla recipes. You take 4 to make a bamboo planks like that. You can make slabs. Oh, there's the bamboo slab. That was the plank. Door, fence, bamboo stairs, and walls, just like the stone walls and the other walls that there are in Minecraft. It starts as a single post, and then when you put more next to it, it will turn into a wall that cannot be... Oh, it can be jumped over. Oh, that's interesting. I thought it was treated like a fence. Oh, well. You live, you learn. So that's the bamboo portion. Next is rice. Now, oh, you can see it just grew. The bamboo did. Rice, if I come over here, you will find these spawned in villages, these rice paddy things, I put a cobblestone wall around it for a demonstration here. But when you punch immature rice, and that's how they look when they're mature, all drooped over, you'll get multiple rice out of it. Now the rice you can plant in the paddies that are here. However, they won't grow anywhere above that, and you can get it right back. Now the paddy, when it's dry, will, when stomped on, act just like a crop field. So try not to mash them. Instead, what you need, if I can, I think I actually have a water bucket in one of these chests here. There it is. Now, the purpose behind the wheat, or the rice, wheat, wow, it looks like wheat, is multifold, actually. The first one here is just like the apple bushel. 6 rice, 1 bucket makes a rice bushel. Or if you just take 6 rice, you get this onigiri, which you can numb for a little bit of health, or a little bit of hunger, actually. I'm using the Magic Farm mod pack in Feed the Beast, so hunger works differently, so this probably does a little bit better than what you just saw, the half a unit of hunger. But that's what the onigiri is. It is food. Now, on to these rice paddies. The rice paddies are created by taking dirt like this, and you get actually multiple rice paddies instead of just the one. Let me just find out for sure how many so I don't misinform you. Where is a crafting table? There we go. Crafting table, dirt, 32. 32 rice paddies. That's awesome. I'm very pleased with that. You get 32 things out of 6 dirt. Probably the highest yield there is in all of Minecraft. Anyway, the way these rice paddies work, if you actually want to grow the rice, is you must introduce water to them. Now, if you put water in this little pit down here like that, it adds water to all adjacent water paddies, or rice paddies that had the water flow into it, and you can then plant the rice and it will grow. Also, important to note, if you bone meal 1 rice in a 3x3 area, everything around it in that 3x3 area also grows. And there are different growth stages, so that's important to note. Now, when it does grow, the water goes poof, so you can't replant without rewatering. However, until you harvest the rice, you can jump on this all you want. Well, it never did that before. Huh. Okay. Well, I just learned something new. Alright. Making a fool of me. Anyway, if you don't want to have a huge area of rice and you don't want to dump the water such that it will wash out everything around it, because generally if you've got a farm, you're probably going to have several different kinds of plants in the area. A way around this is to take a hole next to a rice paddy and have the water flow into it. Also important to note, as part of this demonstration, the rice will wash away just like wheat, as you saw there. But you can reuse the paddies like that. Okay, next part of the rice, and I'm going to get rid of this, and I've done the bamboo. Get these out of my inventory. Thank you very much. Alright. This is called sake, and sake is made by using rice barrels, or rice bushels. I'm sorry, I cannot speak. And this is an already prepared amount of sake. Instead, I'm going to show you how to actually get this going. What you need is a cauldron, just a vanilla cauldron, and a heat source. I'm using lava. Fill the cauldron with lava, and then shift so you are sneaking at the empty cauldron, and take one of the rice bushels and right click on it. It will dump its contents into there. Now, that by itself will do diddly and squat. You need to have multiple bits of rice in there in order to make the sake. And this will sit for a while. It will eventually become this. This is a bucket of young sake, which you cannot place back into the cauldron no matter how hard you try. And just like the apple cider, you add it to these brew barrels to get young sake. Adding another wort gives you sake. Glowstone is potent sake, and redstone is extended sake. Now, where'd those glass bottles go? That, and that. The young sake, potent sake, and extended sake. Good, I got them all. These add speed and jump boost, and a higher chance of getting nausea. The speed and jump boost are paced with each other for each one, so this is 1 minute and 30 seconds of each for the young, 3 minutes of each for the regular, 1 minute 30 of speed 2 and jump boost 2 for the potent, and the extended is 8 minutes of just regular, which is obviously the best one. Now, I guess I'll go ahead and see if I can get nausea here. Yep, there we go. Nope, that wasn't nausea. Come on. There we go. Nausea! It's so horrible. And it lasts a while, but you still get the other effects. Let's get rid of this. This is horrible. Milk. What? You can't drink the milk? Oh, this mod pack. Right. Okay. I'll just stare at the floor for a while. 17 seconds remaining of nausea. I apologize for anyone who hates the nausea effect, especially as much as I do. Don't need that. Don't need these. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I'll keep the bone meal. Alright. Ooh, speed boost. Nice. Zoom. Next thing I'm going to be covering is grapes. Now, grapes is one of the other things that are added to the... Oh. There's my other inventory. Are added to the villages. Go back into normal mode here. And these are the grapevines. Ooh, that's a nice little jump boost. Ugh, not quite 2, but it's still pretty good. These just are spawned naturally, usually in 4 vine clusters in villages. And the way they work is if you walk up to them, you can right click on a grape and it will fly off. Often it will fly and land up on top of that or way over there, somewhere inconvenient, so you do kind of have to track them down after you harvest them. And the grapes should be edible. But, oh, no, that was just particles. But in order to get these grapes, you need to take shears to this part that's hanging off here to get what's called a grape cutting. And it doesn't produce the grape cuttings from the middle parts. That just ruins the plant. Yes, I ruined the plant on purpose just to show you. Now, I can't fly. Let's go back over here. Ooh, bamboo's really growing. The grapes are used just like the other bushels. You add a bucket to the bottom and you get a grape bushel. And I will go ahead and spawn in a couple more of those. But first, let's go ahead and till the wrong dirt. I have set up here some iron bars. And these are just vanilla iron bars. and you can add decorations to the ends or whatever you want. But ultimately what they're for is to guide the vine. You plant the cutting, and over time it will grow, or you can force its hand by bone milling it. Now, without the iron bars above it, it'll stop there and do nothing. However, with the iron bars, it will start producing the actual grape vines. Now, using the center one, it will spread out just one unit in each direction. And you can bone meal all this, and it will produce the... Did I just use all of the bone meal? I did. There, that won't be a problem now. It will produce the grapes in all the directions that it can grow. However, I think, if memory serves me, it does have a limit that it can grow out to. Let's test this theory just to be sure. Let's see if I can convince these to grow some more. Oh, that was not bone meal. Huh. Unlimited. Okay, it can just keep on growing down one line of bars. That's kind of awesome. I thought it was limited. And you can bone meal all the individual grape clusters to make them grow more quickly. But that's how you do the grape plant. You need a cutting. Now, back to the press. You take the grapes, add 3 of them to the press, go smashy smashy a few times, and you get, I'm not going to waste time doing that, you get the young grape wine. And I will condense this stuff down since I don't need that anymore. Move this out of the way, scoot that, alright. And that's just 3 bushels to fill that up, just like the others. And the glass bottles, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Can be used similarly to get the 4 different types, and those are made the same way: plain, netherwort and glowstone, netherwort and redstone. To get young grape wine, regular grape wine, potent grape wine, and extended grape wine, just like the other ones. This one adds resistance instead of the other attributes that were added by the additional or previous types of alcohol, and they have also got a chance for inducing nausea. Next, and finally, as part of this mod pack, are hops. And before I do that, let's go over here in creative mode. Did I just make it start raining? Over here, also in a village, are found hops. And they are these little posts here. They grow 4 high, and if you want them to grow any higher than 1, you will need fence post, and bamboo fence does not seem to work. So you need actual other fence posts in order to do this. And hops are these nodules on the side of the plant here. You harvest by right-clicking on the bush, and the bush will just regrow the node or nodules just like that. Hello. Another villager for the Growthcraft. That's kind of interesting. Alright. Let's get back over here. And the last part, like I said, is the hops. Now, from the hops, you harvest it just like you would any other plant. And you will get these hops, like I said, but you will also get, and I thought for sure I had one on me before I started. I may have thrown it away or tested it on something. Let's see here. Hop. You'll get these hop rhizomes. And the hop rhizomes, just like the grapes, oh, there's my hoe, need to be planted on tilled dirt. If there is nothing above it, that's as far as it will grow, as tall as it will grow rather, it will get to that and be done. However, with posts above it, it will keep growing up to a height of 4 and then stop. And you can shear it just like the other plants to get the hop rhizome, just to show you that. Hey, why are you still there? The hops, just like the other things, can go into a bushel using 6 of them. But in order to use it, we're making ale here, and we need one more thing. Take some regular wheat and make a wheat bushel, and I thought I left one in here. I guess I'm ill prepared. Bushel. Wheat bushel. You take the wheat bushel, and here I have one already set up. Right click while shifting, and then right click some more. This will age into this. Once it has aged into that, you then need to... Did I not grab it? Wow, I am on a roll today. What? Hey, who did that? Where did I get those items? Oh, from that, I guess. You take the hops onto... onto this. And shift right clicking doesn't do anything. For the hops, you need to just right click and you'll get that, which will cook and turn into this, which is here a bucket of young ale. It's a 2-stage process. You need the wheat and then you need the hops. Now the ale, let's get this out of my inventory here, is just like the other things that use the brewing barrels. You have young, regular, whoops, where did, no, okay, glowstone, and redstone. Well, now you get to see how this works. I'll take the glowstone, add to that, the redstone, add to that, and it gets this loading circle animation. There you go, now you got to see the animation as well. And it is ale all the way up until the 2-part animation goes all the way around. And ta-da! Potent ale and extended ale. And let's go ahead and get one of each of those. And they add haste. Now, you can drink multiple alcohols at the same time, get really drunk, and have lots of boosts. So that's kind of fun. But that's pretty much it for this. As you can see, one of the most important aspects to Growthcraft is the fact that it adds an alternative to the alchemy brewing stand that's in vanilla Minecraft. So you can use it sort of as a more natural thing. You still need to go to the nether to get the glowstone and the nether wart, but it's a trade-off. It means you don't have to fight blazes if that's not your thing. But that is it for the guide and tutorial for the Growthcraft mod series that I have here. Like I said, there are a couple of other mods in the series that I do not have. Basically, I just wanted to demonstrate these for the people who are using some of the more common ones. And something on fire over here. That is one thing you have to worry about when you're doing this, is the fire. But yeah, that's going to have to be it for this. So thank you for watching. I will be leaving, like I said before, a link to the place where you can download Growthcraft in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or any crass remarks for me also being unprepared, like the other videos that I mentioned at the beginning, rolling my eyes, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I take criticism well. Also, if you like this video, please give it a like. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my other stuff comes out. I've got lots of series that I am working slowly or rapidly on, depending on my mood. But I'm still continuing to try to put up one video every day, or at least 6 videos a week, so you guys have stuff to watch and have people, namely me, to mock while playing poorly at video games. I am starving. Look at that. I'm starving. Also, this is the Magic Farm mod pack, which is part of Feed the Beast. If you are interested in that, go check out Feed the Beast. There's a lot of different things that you can do, lots of mod packs. But that is definitely going to have to be it for this video. So thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.